Good morning. Do you know why I look so scruffy this morning? You know why I look like this morning? Because I had the worst night of my life. Oh, man. The Giants suck. And I knew it. I didn't think it'd be that bad. Yikes. Yikes is right, Deshumby. Holy crap. About halftime I was playing Rainbow Six. I turned it off. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it anymore. Oh my god. Oh, it's going to be a tough year. But at least we got sports betting. At least we got sports betting. That's good. Good morning, everyone. Steelers are, John. Best of luck to you, John. The battle of the shit teams this year, maybe. Lions looked good. Yeah, Lions looked good. Who else looked pretty good? Browns. Carmine. What's up, Carmine? What's up, man? Carmine, are you a Giants fan? I think you're a Jets fan. Or maybe you don't even like football. I don't remember asking. I remember asking. I don't remember your answer. Jets? Yeah, let's see the Jets tonight. Maybe I'll be a Jets fan this year. Who knows? Green Bay looked pretty decent, except I don't know. Dolphins offense. Yeah. Yeah, I guess, Chef, that's true. The good part of this morning is I am holding Tesla calls. This was a Tesla swing that I've been holding since been holding that since the 5th of September. So, what is that? Back on Monday? The 5th was, I'm sorry, Tuesday. Market was closed Monday. So, yeah, I've been holding a Tesla September 15th, 255 call since Tuesday of last week. And that's a good part of today. That's up a lot. So happy about that one. Also, let's take a second, little remembrance for 9/11. Moment of silence for everyone that lost any loved ones in that horrible horrible event. So moment of silence there. Yeah. So 9/11. Let's make it a good day. It's a bad day in history. Someone said this in the chat. It's a bad day in history, but let's make it a good day in trading. I totally agree. So good morning once again, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good morning. Put some hands like this in the chat. Some prayer hands in the chat for 9/11. So welcome back. Press that like button if you guys could. I hope you guys are having a good morning. Hope you had a good weekend. My weekend was a good weekend. Wish the Giants didn't lose 40-0. That would have been, a better start to the work day. But it is what it is. So press that like button, subscribe to the channel. I guess the truth is they're only 0-1, right? They're only 0-1. Hopefully Dayball beat some people over the head, man, in that locker room. All right, so let's pull up the schedule. That's why we're here. Welcome back. Press the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's do it. Let's make it a good day. Hopefully some better price action this week. I'm hoping for it. It looks like this morning we are getting some better price action, at least in the pre-market. We're seeing some movement on the NASDAQ. We're seeing some movement across big tech, Tesla, NVIDIA. Qualcomm's up nicely this morning. Microsoft's up. So we're getting some movement across the tech market, which is nice to see. Hoping for some better price action because of that. Also, big week on the economic side. We have CPI, PPI. So some big events going on in the market. Some economic news, which could do a little bit of a spark to the market, a little bit of a catalyst. So that's also a positive of the week because we definitely need it, man. Last week looked dead. It was a difficult trading week for sure. So if any of you guys struggled last week, take a look at the market, right? If the market's pretty sideways and you had a tough time trading, don't get discouraged. Know that it was a pretty difficult week. It was a very slow week. There was not a lot of price action. So hopefully this week a little bit better. Futures economic earnings calendar. Let's pull up that economic calendar. Let's take a look at what's going on there. So we'll pull that up real quick. Here it is. Download the Dart mobile app. Personalized, collaborative, easy to use. Connect with Deloitte's library of accounting and reporting guidance anywhere, anytime. Anytime, anywhere. Dart. A couple darts. If anyone knows the Nelk boys. So today, Monday, September 11th, nothing scheduled on the calendar there. Tomorrow, Tuesday, September 12th, nothing scheduled on the calendar there. But here we get heavy, right? We get heavy Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Yes, we are adjusting for contract change today. TOS switched it over, so we are making sure in TOS. I'll show you guys how to do that in TOS. You want to adjust for contract change. So nothing much on the schedule today and tomorrow. We do have CPI Wednesday, PPI on Thursday, our jobless claims on Thursday, retail sales, and then Friday, import prices. Not much there on Friday. All right? So one thing to keep in mind, right? Do we get a little bit of slow action potentially Monday, Tuesday in anticipation of CPI Wednesday? That is possible. So something to keep in mind there. But let's keep an eye on, obviously on that Wednesday CPI. Thursday, PPI, absolutely something to be paying attention to, okay? That's that. Do we have anything on the earnings side? Not really, no. We're going to skip the earnings. Earnings season's pretty much wrapping up. We got Adobe on Thursday, but we'll talk about that later in the week. So let's get back into the schedule. Tesla, as you guys probably see, I'm sure a lot of people see. I hope you do. Tesla, big gap up. Big gap up this morning, about $13 a share. That's pretty major. So really nice to see there. Obviously for the long-term portfolio. Have some swing trades there. So finally, it doesn't happen to me often. I got a little bit lucky. Very rarely do I get in a swing trade and get a big catalyst in my favor. So this is the first time in a long time that I've gotten a nice little gap up in my favor here. Tesla, let's take a look at that. There is definitely a pullback entry level. So for those that feel like they're missing out, there is absolutely a pullback level to be watching today for potential new long entries. Definitely a watch here. Really clean level to be watching. I like it a lot, and I will definitely look to add or potentially just day trade in addition to my swing trade here on Tesla. NVIDIA 450, big level to be watching today. Nice demand level and potentially some upside there. Microsoft 335, nice break there. Netflix break and retest. There's a really interesting Netflix break and retest for potential swing trades here. I really like this level. It's been holding for like a few weeks. I'll show you here. Yeah, hold on. It doesn't say it's green right now, but you guys have seen. These are my positions that I'm holding. They're not big. They're not big. I just screenshotted it. I don't really want to share my account number here, guys. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Maybe another time I will share my account number. Yeah, here's the positions I hold. Tesla September 15th. They're small, but this is up. It's up pretty big. So I was down 55%. I just sat there and held it, and I didn't care about it because it was small. So it's a little bit of a lucky trade, I'd say. But I'll talk to you why I held this position. There is a very clear reason why I held this position. And I got it a little bit. You always get a little bit of luck. I'm not going to lie, right? This is a little lucky. I'm not going to say it's like a perfect trade by any means. I was down 55%. But it was a really small amount. And I just sort of said, as long as it's above 242, I am not selling this position. And it worked out for me. So Tesla, September 15, 55. Shop, September 15, 65. You guys have seen me holding these in the Discord. And I just basically haven't touched them. But I will explain to you why I held on to these. There is a very clear reason why I did not sell these on Tesla and on Shopify. So that's that. Netflix, definitely a watch here. Google, 137. Amazon, 140. And Apple still showing a little bit of weakness today. So something to be paying attention to there. All right? Let's get started. I do want to just go right into Tesla because I really like this chart today. I love it. But let's start on the futures like we always do. That's the most important. So first of all, let's talk about contract changes that we have to adjust for contract change today. Let's do that first before we get into any levels here. Let me just make sure I get this 4-hour chart. Okay. So first of all, today, go to your settings gear up on TOS on the top right. You guys see over here, we're about next to the 4-hour on the top right of your screen. There's the setting gear on TOS, right? Go to that and then go to futures right here. Futures. Go to that right here. Adjust for contract change. This setting right here, adjust for contract change. I would make sure that that's on today. The contract is now a December contract. You guys can see over here. I know it's probably pretty small, but December 23. That's your new futures contract. I would make sure to be looking at that today. All right? Now, let's look at some levels. Let's pay attention to what we're looking at here today. So, first of all, I think the first level to be watching today is 15,600. This is a very big level. This is a major rejection back here. This is some rejections back here. This even went up to around 1660. And then if we zoom into this 1-hour chart, right, look at this level right here. You guys can see right here, this rejection on the NASDAQ around this 15,600, 15,606. That is a rejection right here, right? And a previous support right here. So this is going to be the level today, in my opinion. You either hold above 15,600 or you reject it. As of right now, we are above 15,600. In my eyes, this is a potential very nice long opportunity off 15.6. This is now green, actually. So I need to turn that green because we are above it. If we hold over 15.6 today, I like the long side opportunities. I like the reclaim of this previous high. And if I zoom in even closer, right, if I go to the 15-minute chart here, which is a very short-term look, but if I zoom in here, all right, I like the reclaim of this low, this Tuesday low. See this Tuesday low right here? That was 15.6, right? And that was a bounce off of, let me get more time here. That 15.6 was a bounce off this previous high, and then look at these previous rejections, all at 15.6, right? 15.6, 15.6, right? 15.6. Major rejections at 15.6 on the NASDAQ futures. Now, we can see here on the 15-minute chart, we are reclaiming that 15.6, and we're reclaiming this previous low right here. So, if I see the NASDAQ, sort of consolidate above 15.6 today, that is going to be my long side confirmation. That is going to be where I will look for upside trades. If the NASDAQ is over 15.6, that's a very big and important level in my eyes. You also can see this morning, we are holding above previous highs, right around this 50 SMA. You guys can see that right there. This is Friday's highs, 50 SMA. We sort of curled off that this morning. I like that as well. So, 15.6, this 50 SMA around 15.570. I like this little hold here. This is definitely something that I'll be watching today. If we start to see a hold over that 15.6, I will look for that upside. So that's number one, right? That's a big watch there. Now, let's zoom out and just take a look at this 4-hour chart for a second. Because if we zoom out and get sort of an idea of what's going on in this 4-hour, I think this is important as well. We can see here on the 4-hour chart, we are holding this little short-term uptrending channel, right? You can see channel lows, and last week, what did we do last week? Pretty much all last week, we held a channel low and the 20 SMA, right? You can see right here, right there, basically all last week, I would say anywhere between, well, we moved down into it, of course, right? Moved down into it, held it. The 6th, the 7th, so it's sort of Thursday, Friday, we maintained that 20 SMA, we maintained the channel low, and now we are sort of pushing off that channel low, possibly for a move into channel high, right? So that's another major thing that I'm watching, right? Understanding on the longer term time frames what's going on here. You can clearly see the channel. You can clearly see the 20 SMA hold. I think that's a very important thing to keep in mind here today. That was a very nice hold last week of that level. So the sort of that middle of the road level that needs to hold on for upside continuation in my eyes is 15.6. 15.6, if we can turn that into support today, I think you can continue on this channel low bounce. So that's really my main watch today. That's how I'm going to structure my day. I'm going to walk into today and I'm going to tell myself, okay, if I'm about to look to long something, if I'm about to look to long Tesla or Nvidia, I'm going to look at the NASDAQ and say, is the NASDAQ holding over 15.6? If yes, then I will look for that long. If no, then I will be cautious of entering that long because I don't want to long into a potential 15.6 rejection. That's going to be my watch today. Definitely something to be monitoring on the NASDAQ. All right. There's some levels above, right? There's definitely some levels above to be paying attention to. Sort of this high up here around this 15,770, right? You can see all those rejections up there. You can watch this Wednesday rejection around this 15,700. That's another level to be monitoring. So there's definitely some short-term levels, right? Some short-term red levels that we should be watching, right? But I think the biggest thing to be paying attention to this morning is whether 15.6 holds or 15.6 rejects. That's really my first and major watch of the morning to get an idea of the price action. 15.6 hold or reject. Okay? QQQ. So here's your level on the Qs. 376, right? That's going to be your level on the Qs today. 376. Why is that? 376 here, 376 here, 376 here, 376 here, 376 here. That is actually a clean as hell level to be watching today. That one's really clean, right? You can clearly see the 376 previous support that we will need to break and hold above for confirmation of more upside. All right? That one's clean. So possibly, right, this is where things can get a little bit hairy, right? I'm not going to lie, because the NASDAQ is above our 15.6 level, right? So we might look to long above that 15.6, but then the QQQ, we need to make sure that it's sort of maintaining above this 376 as well. So there's definitely some things to be watching there, right? 376, we want to be careful, right? Because we know that we could walk into tomorrow and say, damn, I longed into 376 and this thing rejected pretty nicely, right? And that is definitely a clear potential move, right? It is definitely a clear opportunity that the QQQ rejects off this 376. I think that's very possible, right? We can clearly see those previous rejections here, the previous low here, previous low, previous low, previous low. So is there a possible rejection of 376? Yes, absolutely. So we don't want to be stuck in that. So let's wait for that 376 potentially to get, if we want that real confirmation, I would say we want to see a move over 376, a hold above, then we get that long. You could also look for the 376 rejection play if you're looking for downside today. So that's the big level, 376. New York, Sir Desiano, thanks for Tesla NVIDIA overnight hold. You're the best teacher on YouTube. For you, King. Thank you, New York. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. So that's the QQQ. ES. So, very clear level on the ES here. Right? Look at this 45.40. See this right here? 45.40. Nice rejection there. You're moving right into it. 45.40. Right? And we can see what happened after we lost 45.40 on Wednesday of last week, right? Look at this Wednesday price action. This is Wednesday pre-market and Wednesday market open. So Wednesday, we maintained 45.40, right? And after we lost it, bam, right? Dead. Muerte. After 45.40 break, we got crushed. So what are we doing? We're moving back into 45.40. Now, this is going to be big, right? Because if you move back into 45.40 and you reject there, right, this is still a potential rejection point. That is where we previously rejected here, and that is where we really died off under on Wednesday of last week. So what do we need to see to get that strong upside confirmation on ES? I think you need a hold over 45.40, right? You need to reclaim that level. If you can reclaim that level, I think you can get that continuation. So that's really the main level. Now, above 45.40, you do have that 50 SMA at 45.50, just to be a little bit cautious of if you do long anything on the ES today, all right? But that looks to be, in my eyes, the major level, right? And you can also see here on the 4-hour, right, what else is at 45.40? Very clear. Look at this, 45.40, 45.40, right? You can clearly see on the 4-hour, double top on the 4-hour, rejection there, right? And then on Wednesday of last week, 45.40, big drop below, right? So we're moving back into that. We definitely, right, I think it's common sense. We definitely need to be above this rejection and this rejection and this rejection before we look to long anything, because that could reject again. And we don't want to be a part of that, and we don't want to be longing into supply here. So today, 45.40, that's your watch. Before you long anything, ask yourself, is the ES above 45.40? If so, then we look for that confirmation. If we're under 45.40, be a little bit cautious of that potential rejection point. All right, 45.40 on the ES. SPY looks to be around this 448.50. All right, so you can see here, if we go to the 4-hour chart, it's a little bit different, right? There's been a little bit of discrepancy between the ES and the ES and the SPY, but there's definitely a key level here around this 448.50. Let me go ahead and zoom in here on the 15-minute, right? And I'll explain to you why. Remember that Wednesday muerte that I was talking about? I think that's how you say die, or dead. Remember that, what I was talking about on the ES off 45.40? Well, look at where it happened on the SPY, right? You see this right here on the SPY? See where we died off on Wednesday? What level is that? 448.50, right? 448.50. So that's our level on the SPY right there. 448.50, very clear there on the SPY ETF. If we go to the hourly chart, we can also see, right? We can also see 448.50 right here. 448.50, 448.50. So on the SPY, what do we want to see to get that long confirmation? Well, we could look to long off 447. I don't mind that, right? Because look at this. Previous highs, 50 SMA. That's a nice little hold this morning off 447. So if you can get a pullback to 447, there's a nice potential long there into 448.50. But we have to be cautious. If the SPY is trading near 448.50, we have to be a little bit cautious of rejections that can step in at that level. All right? So 448.50 on the SPY, that's your big level above. That's going to be the level that we need to really get above for that long confirmation, right? That strong confirmation, 448.50. I would look for the demand holds at 447, I'm sorry. I would look for the demand holds at 447. Why is that? Right? Look at this right here. 5-minute chart. You guys can see previous highs, 50 SMA. I know it's a little bit behind the price action here. Let me move this a little bit. See that yellow line? I'll make this a little wider. See that yellow line on your screen? That's the 50 SMA, right? So if you hold above Friday's highs, right, and that 50 SMA here, which you are right now, you can see right there, you're doing it right now. Friday highs hold, 50 SMA hold. There's definitely a potential long there off 447 towards that 448.50. But, right, it's sort of away from you, right? You want to pull back to get better risk reward here if you're going to long off 447. You can't just long, right? You're not going to long the SPY at 448 with the idea of 447 holding, because then you got a 1-to-1 risk reward here, right? You need a pullback before you long the 447. So at this point, you need to be cautious of the 448.50 rejections above, all right? Very clear level to be watching on the SPY. What's the Dow Jones looking like? I haven't even looked at it today yet. It looks like you're still sort of channeling here. Looks like demand held at the 100 SMA, which is pretty nice there. 100 SMA hold on the Dow. Looks like you got to watch out for this 35.1. That looks to be the level. 35.1, even around 35,000 on the Dow. You guys can see right here, previous lows, previous lows, previous lows, right? So if you do trade into that, it looks like the Dow 35,100. That's the level to watch on the Dow, all right? Russell did that nice demand, or that nice rejection into the demand here around that 1875. Looks like this whole 1870, 1875 area is holding. Let me clean this chart up for a second. Zoom out. So you can see right there on the Russell, right? Hold, right? You're really holding this 1870, 1875 area. However, right, if you do long here, which it could be great risk reward, right? This could be great risk reward for longs. You just got to be a little bit cautious, right? Look at all these rejections. Look at the rejections at around the 200, the 100 SMA. You have the 200, the 100, and the 20 SMA all right here around this, anywhere between 1900 and 1890. In about a 10-point range, you have three major SMAs there. So just be cautious of that. If you do long the Russell, be aware of that. This is a nice demand to potentially long off of. Nice risk reward, but just be aware of the potential rejections at these SMAs above. All right? All right, so that's the futures. 15.6 looks big. 45.40 looks big, right? Let's keep an eye on those levels today. Tesla. All right, so let me first explain to you why I held Tesla, right? What made me just sort of hold it and not get rid of my swing trade? Well, there was a very clear reason, right? You can see right here. This was Tesla last week. And as much as Tesla sort of did nothing, right? Look what if you zoomed out and paid attention to the sort of the longer term here, look at what it did on the hourly chart, right? Look at that triple top, and then look at this triple bottom or double bottom, whatever you want to call it, right? You can see here, triple top, right, on Tesla around this 242, right? And then that 242 double bottom. And we actually added to this Tesla play right here. All right, you guys see right here. Tesla add was good around the 244 level. Still need to see him move over 252 for full confidence. But that 244, 242 level, which is right here, you guys can see right there. And then this hold right here, right? Very important hold. And that's sort of what kept me in that trade. I wanted to maintain Tesla as long as we're above that 242. Nice little break of this trend. Nice break over the 50. And now, right, now, what's the main watch? The main watch now, first of all, let's first go to the supply level. The level of supply above is 270, right? 270. Right here, right here, right here, and right here. So let's first understand that, right? If you're looking at Tesla this morning, you're getting all horned up because it gapped up, right? You need to be careful of the 270, right? You need to be careful of the 270. There is definitely clear rejections at that level. We can clearly see that. So if Tesla's at 270, be careful of entering new longs up at this level. That is definitely a big level above, okay? What's the pullback level that you'd like to see, right, for potential long opportunities? I think you guys can all see it here. I think it's clear as day. Let me go to the 30-minute chart, the 15-minute. I think it is very, very apparent of what we need to see hold to get a potential long opportunity. In my eyes, it is 260, right? Previous highs, previous highs, previous highs, previous highs. I think it's anywhere between 260, around this 259, 260 range. That is the pullback that you are looking for today, right? That's where you're looking to see if Tesla can pull back and maintain, right? If you could pull back and maintain that level, I think you could see that curl back to the upside. Now, if you break under that 259, right, then I think you need to be cautious of the possibility of a little bit of a gap fill, right? There is a big gap up here. So in my eyes, right, I would not want to long anywhere. I don't care if it holds 256, right? I don't care. I don't care if it holds 252, right? Maybe that's a longer pullback, but I'm not interested in longing Tesla down at those pullback levels. And here's why, right? Because I know if I long, let's say Tesla pulls back to like 256, right? I know there's a possibility that even if you long here, Tesla could do this, right? Why would Tesla do that, right? Why would Tesla do that? I'm going to explain sort of the idea there. If Tesla falls back under this previous supply around this 259, 260, if you long underneath this triple top, whatever you want to call it, you are susceptible, right? You are susceptible to a bounce and then a rejection at that level again, right? You are susceptible to a rejection back at that level. Right, so in my eyes, for Tesla to really stay strong here, you do not want to see this break back under 259, 260, right? That really needs to be a hold in my eyes. Somewhere around here, that really needs to be the hold because I don't want to see Tesla back under this triple top. I don't think you want to see Tesla back under that triple top, right? So that's my watch today on Tesla, right? That's sort of how I'm thinking about it. 260 pullback is a dream from the Giants. That would be a dream to forget about the Giants' destruction last night. I wouldn't even think about the Giants. If we get a beautiful 260 pullback, beautiful dream entry there. Definitely going to be watching for that to see if that demand steps up. Now, don't come into tomorrow's stream and say, oh, you said 260 would hold. I longed it there and I lost all my money, right? You have to actually see it hold, right? If you see Tesla go straight down into 260 this morning and you just buy it instantly, yeah, no, that's not going to be good for you, right? You need to see it pull back and you need to see it really maintain, right? Give it some time, see some demand bounces, see some candles wicking off of it, wait 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, see if that maintains, right? Don't just instantly buy calls the second it's at 260, right? You got to at least see that start to build It needs to prove to us that that's going to maintain at that level. All right. If you don't get that pullback, it might be a little bit difficult today. It might be a little bit of a chase, right? If you don't get that pullback, it might be a little bit of a chase if you want to catch Tesla, in my eyes, right? So that's really the pullback you want. That's at least my read right now. There might be a pullback to this 50 SMA. That is very possible as well. But that's really the read I'm looking for. That would be the clean read, a 260 pullback today. All right? So that's my read on Tesla. We'll see how it plays out. Best of luck to you Tesla traders out there. NVIDIA, I like this a lot, right? This could be a little sneaky here. I'm not going to lie. I know a lot of people are sort of eyes off on NVIDIA after some ugly price action last week, but this is a little bit sneaky here potentially. NVIDIA, let's actually go 4-hour chart, right? Look at this 4-hour chart. Where are we sitting on NVIDIA on the 4-hour? You guys can see right here, previous highs, major previous lows, and look at where we're sitting again on NVIDIA at this 450 level. What else is at this 450 level on NVIDIA? This is also, right? This is also the 50 SMA right below, right? You can see right here, 450, 450, 450, 450, 450. What else is there? An uptrending 50 SMA, right? Is this that pullback opportunity that everyone looks at in hindsight and says, damn, I wish I longed NVIDIA there, right? How many times have you said to yourself in the last, X amount of months, how many times have you asked yourself or have said to yourself, damn, I wish I longed NVIDIA off that demand? So is this another opportunity, right? And is it worth putting risk on the table? That's the question you need to ask, right? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Am I willing to put some risk on here? And am I okay with the outcome, right? That's all you need to ask here. You don't have to be right if you're okay with the risk that you put on, right? If you put on a few $100, if you put on $1,000, if you risk $400 or $500, are you okay with that risk? And if the answer is yes, then I think this is a very potential opportunity, right? I think it is. That's a nice area to hold. That's a very clean 450 hold. It held here in the past, right? You're on a little bit of an uptrending channel, similar to the NASDAQ, right? Similar to that NASDAQ. And if it does break down, right? If it does break down to 450, stop out, take your loss, and that's the trade that you took. So for me, I think it's worth the risk for me, right? That's definitely a risk worth taking in my eyes, because I know that if you risk, let's say you risk, maybe 10 points on the underlying here, you could get a move up towards that 480, up towards that 490, that 500. That's a good risk reward, right? If this thing does bounce off demand and continues higher, there's a good risk reward in my eyes at that level. So I'm okay taking those losses, right? It's fine for me. If it's overpriced for you, then that's fine, man. That's something you have to understand. You could set up a spread here, right? You could set up a debit spread to make it cheaper, right? That's an idea. If you like the chart, if you want to make it cheaper, debit spread, right? There's ways to play it with less risk. But 450 makes sense to me. I'm definitely watching that level here. And if I would long that, I'm not going to regret it at all, right? If I long it here off 450 demand and it sort of breaks down, I take my loss, I move on. The real move that needs to happen before it's a real confirmation of upside, I will say, is you need to get over 466. So you could wait, right? The right idea could be, if you don't want to take the longs down here around 450, the right idea would be a hold above this 466 high, right? That could be the confirmation that some of you may be looking for before entering, right? You can see the rejections that came in here from that 466 level, right? So you might want to wait for this before longing it, right? To get above that 466 area. That might be the right thing to stay patient for. So 466, right? 450, look to see if you can get above this Friday high. If you hold above Friday highs on NVIDIA, I think there's definitely an opportunity here. right? I don't want to say definite, not 100%, but I definitely would be watching to see if 466 previous Friday highs could get that break and hold. So that's NVIDIA. Definitely a watch there. Let's move on. Microsoft, 335. Nice little break over that level today. However, I will say Microsoft price action is really bad. I will say that. It's pretty bad price action. But this is a pretty interesting breakout here. Right? So you can see right here, Microsoft held this previous high. Right? You guys can see right here. We sort of pulled back, held that previous high, broke out of that little downtrending channel. You can see right here, little downtrend breakout right there on Microsoft. Pretty clean right there. Now, what are you looking for? You need a pullback to 335 for longs, right? You guys can see right here, 335, 335, 335. So if Microsoft today pulls back to 335, I would look for that as a long opportunity. The reason I don't like longing it where it is now is there is a very important 340, 339 supply area here to be cautious of on Microsoft. 4 hour, look at these rejections. 339, 340, big rejections over here. So be careful of that 339, 340 above. I would want to pull back to that 335 for some potential longs there today. Netflix, this looks real interesting. Yeah, this looks real interesting. So this is the Netflix 4 hour. I will say, let me first of all make sure we're aware of the upside supply because it's definitely there, right? There is definitely some upside supply here. Anywhere between this 450 and around this 453, right in there. Let me make sure we have that marked out, right in that general area there. But I will say, right, even with that supply there, which could be your target for the upside move, that could be your sort of target, or that could actually be where you wait for it to break above before taking the long, right? But this looks very interesting, right? Previous highs, very clear hold there, and very clear hold here, right? And you can see, right? I don't need to influence you this because it's right on the chart. You can see how this 437 level turned from a rejection point into a support level. It's clear as day. Previous rejections into new support, right? So that's very important. That is telling. That should make you look for upside possibilities. Now, if you can break this little downtrend here and you can sort of flag out of this, this could be a very interesting long opportunity off 437. That's if the market wakes up. That's if we get upside. Obviously, CPI is in the way. So if you took that trade right into next week, you have to make sure you be careful of CPI, right? There's things in the way. It's not just the chart. There's other things to pay attention to. But that is a very interesting chart there. Also, the 50 SMA sort of below acting as a support. Just be cautious of the 450, 453 supply. But that is a nice, interesting 437 pullback retest on Netflix and something I will be monitoring today. Google, 137. Just going to monitor that level today. Just going to, not too much for you there. It's just a clear level to see if we hold above. That's all, right? You can see right here, previous highs, previous rejections. You have some support back here at 137, right? And if we go to the 5-minute chart, we can see 137 is trying to hold today. So in my eyes, I'm just going to see if Google wants to hold over 137. If it does, I think there's potential upside. So I'm just going to be watching if there's any trade off 137 today on Google. All right. Amazon is 140. I would be cautious of being long anything on Amazon into 140. You guys can see right here what happened at 140 last time. Look at 140 here, guys. Clear as day. Look at that rejection at 140. So if you do look to long Amazon, please wait for a hold over 140. I think that could be a very nice long opportunity over 140, or this could also be a play, right? The rejection of 140 if you get some market downside. So either way, Amazon, the level to watch today, 140. All right. Last one I got for you today is Apple. And Apple is, I'm going to go over Meta and a few others. But Apple, a little bit weak here, right? Still a little bit weak. It's sort of moving higher as we speak now. I think the level to watch today, I actually want to adjust this, is 181. 181. That's the level, in my opinion, to watch, right? And that's the 100 SMA on Apple, right? That's the 100 SMA on Apple. So be careful of longs on Apple before 181. But if Apple can turn 181 into support, I think that could be where Apple starts to bounce again. So 181. You might want to also watch. Yeah, it's like that same level from before, that 183 level. That's where everything sort of broke down again. So 181, 183. Yeah, 180 is important as well, but you have that 100 SMA right above. I don't think you want to long into that 100 SMA on Apple, right? You guys see that right here? See this green line? Right? I don't think you want to long right into 181, 100 SMA. I don't think that's the right idea. So I think if you can get above 181, if you can hold above that 100 SMA, then I think you can get that upside opportunity. But yeah, I don't think I want to be long right into this green line right here. That's the 100 SMA on Apple. So 181, all right? Keep an eye on that level. That's the 20 SMA, 100 SMA, 181. Look to see if you can get a play off that level today, all right? Meta, I just want to give a fair warning. I will not be trading Meta for an extended period of time. This is a disgusting chart. It faked me out last week. It gave me a pretty nice loss last week. I have no interest, right? I have no interest. A disgusting chart. Upside, give it all back. Upside, give it all back. 4-hour chart. Look at these wicks. Be careful of Meta, okay? This is a really dangerous area here on Meta. Look at these wicks on Meta. These are not pretty. So I would say retire Meta for the time being and wait for it to break one of these sides, right? 294, 308. These are two major levels. I would wait for Meta to break over or break below before trading, right? This area, for me, is no trade zone. That area for me is no trade zone on Meta. That's just my assessment. Last one I got for you, I'll go Qualcomm because Qualcomm has a little bit of a catalyst this morning. I would be very cautious on this Qualcomm. I would be careful chasing Qualcomm here. Qualcomm has a lot of SMAs above. I mean, a lot, right? And a lot of previous supply here on Qualcomm. You have the 100. Right? You have the 100, you have the 50, you have the 200, all stacked up there. You have previous lows here on Qualcomm around this 112 area, right? And you can actually see this morning, it is falling back below. Wow. See, like, look, this is why I talked to you about SMAs, right? Look at that 100 SMA right there. Look at where Qualcomm rejected off of this morning. So I wouldn't be a chaser of this Qualcomm move. A little bit of Apple news this morning. But that's not a really clean chart. If you go to the 4-hour, look at this chart. It's ugly. So just be careful. I just wanted to point that out. Really not great on Qualcomm to the upside. I'd be careful trusting that upside continuation. Shopify, I'm going to hold on to it. I know there's supply above this 66, 68 level. I'm very aware of it. I talked about that in the past. I knew that would get heavy up there. But I'm still going to hold on to this weekly chart. It's a nice weekly chart still. Let's see what Shopify does around that 66, 67 area this week. All right. That's about all I got for you guys today. Look at this 15.6 hold that just came in this morning. Look at this 15.606 hold. Right? Look at that little hold we just saw in the 5-minute. Very interesting there. Is the ES at 45.40 yet? Yeah, it's getting close. So ES 45.40, NASDAQ 15.6, QQQ 376, big level approaching here. We want to see that breakout from more upside. And then SPY, watch out for that 448.50. All right, guys? If you guys could, we got 1,700 people in here. We got 500 likes. If you guys could help that ratio out a little bit, that would be much appreciated. Once again, thank you for all the support. Thank you for showing up here every morning, starting at 8 a.m. I know a lot of you guys on the West Coast got to wake up real early for this. So shout out to you guys for the commitment. If you guys could, before you head out, before you leave the live stream, press that like button for me. Help me continue to grow the channel. We're almost to, I think we're almost to 70,000 subscribers. We're getting close. We got about 256. Sorry, bad math. 256 subscribers away from 70,000. So if you guys are here and you're not subscribed, if you could help me get to that goal. We got everyone. Why everyone 100,000 subscribers and not me? Right? Why everyone 100,000 subscribers and not me? Help me get to 100K if you guys are a long-time supporter. If you come to the streams, if you know anyone that would like the streams, let them know. Tell them to subscribe even if they don't want to watch. Thank you guys so much. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Yeah. 100K soon? Why 100K, not me? Peace.